The legend of the pretty rich girl falling in love and running off with the poor guy has been around for a long time. There's a version of the pretty white girl running off with the poor black guy and they live happily ever after. That legend seems to be trending right now, but with a new twist. The black guy is a hood rat. What's wrong with that? A lot of things. The legend was based on the poor black guy being a man of integrity and character, even though he was poor. He loved the white girl a lot and cared for her the best he could. He would try to earn, keyword is earn, not steal, some amount of money to offer her a life as close to what she left behind as possible. He would protect her and treat her with love and respect. That is the legend. I'm calling it a legend, but those types of relationships have worked out in real life, and that is what keeps the legend alive. In current times, the black guy is not the same as the one in the legend. He is a bad boy from the hood. It's a mixture of the good girl running off with the bad boy and the legend of the well off girl running away with the poor black guy with a heart. The problem is that the hood rat is not a good or kind-hearted person. He isn't the bad boy who has a soft spot for his girl and will do all he can to protect and care for her. The hood rat is a player and a gold digger. He lives off women and uses love as a weapon. Some hood rats may have money, but that doesn't change the fact that they have no character and would treat a girl like crap. There could be exceptions to the rule, but remember that I refer to psychopathic black people from poor areas as hood rats. The key word is psychopathic, which means that not all black people from poor areas are psychopathic, bad, or hood rats. I also say that hood rats are gold diggers because I overheard a mixed hood rat complain that hood rat guys date white girls because they use them for money. That is what she said. I don't hang around or associate with hood rats, so I don't know if that is true. But I think there is some truth to it because they are psychopaths. Biggie Smalls might have started the beauty and the hood beast trend because he was considered ugly, but he got so many pretty girls. Why am I bringing this up? What is the point? It is because the recent beauty and the hood beast trend where attractive girls are falling hard for the hood rats. They get in these dysfunctional relationships and think it's okay to be treated like crap. It's not only white girls who have fallen into this trap. A diverse group of females have been attracted to this lie. I remember a white girl who was from an upper middle class home and she started to date hood rats. She lived in a nice house in a nice neighborhood with her mom and sister, but would spend her days sleeping on a mattress on the floor of an apartment in the hood. I sleep on a mattress on the floor, but it is because I want to. I can afford a bed on a platform. This hood rat she was dating couldn't. She hung out with her hood rat boyfriend and even got into fights, non-physical, with some of her boyfriend's baby mamas. If that doesn't sound strange to you, then you won't understand the rest of this video. I grew up around white people who dated black people, but they chose carefully. They wouldn't be caught dead in the hood fighting with a hood rat girl for a deadbeat hood rat dad. It's ridiculous. I also remember an incident where some white girl was dating a hood rat and his obsessive hood rat ex-girlfriend knocked on their door holding a knife and demanding that she come out to talk to her about her cheating with her boyfriend. This girl believed that she was still dating the hood rat, but the boyfriend and his white lover claimed that the boyfriend had dumped the hood rat girl. This is crazy, but true. I thought that abuse would be unlikely in an interracial relationship for two reasons. One is that some non-white people are so eager to have a white mate that they would never ruin it with abuse. I'm being honest. I couldn't see the abuser being the non-white person, but I could see the non-white person being abused by the white person. The second reason is that in interracial relationships with healthier perspectives than the previous one, the one I just mentioned, there are so many obstacles to deal with that I thought the two mates would be nice to each other. The two mates would be nice to each other. They wouldn't do anything to cause any more pain or drama than the relationship itself is getting. That's what I thought. However, I witnessed two cases where that was not true. These two examples shouldn't be used to generalize. It is to show that abuse is possible in interracial relationships. I used to be friends with a girl who was hot. She always got guys' attention wherever we went. One night, we parked on the curb while she went out to get something in the store. Some hood rat was there with a white girl. They seemed to have something going on. I don't know what happened, but he was checking my friend out. And then he turned and told the white girl she had no butt in a mean way. He told her she had no butt. And he embarrassed her in front of others. I was sitting in the car and I heard him say this. She quietly looked down and didn't say anything. I felt sorry for her and mad at him for doing that. That was emotional and or psychological abuse, and it was not necessary. The second example occurred when I was walking down the street. Some kids around high school or college age were walking behind me. The white girl was being loud and mouthing off to some hood rat guy. It seemed that they were together even though they were with a group of friends. All of a sudden, he slapped her and said something like, "That's what you get for running your mouth." Everyone got quiet and I turned around to watch them, not believing what happened. I couldn't believe what just happened. I don't remember if I actually saw him slap her or if I heard it and turned around. All the friends were quiet, and she kept quiet for the duration of the walk. So that is an example of physical abuse. Hood rat guys are not just abusive to hood rat girls. They can be abusive to their non-hood rat mates too. So what is the point? There are plenty of dysfunctional relationships with people of the same ethnicity. There are plenty of dysfunctional mixed relationships, even ones where hood rats are not involved. The point is that those relationships usually happen by accident. Most of the females weren't intentionally seeking out dysfunctional relationships because they heard about it in a song, read about it in a tabloid, or watched girls in those relationships talk about it as if it was normal on social media. That's what's happening right now. People are dismissing the psychological, emotional, and or physical trauma that occurs in these types of relationships. It's something that could take years to heal if the girl even realizes what happened to her. If those girls realize what happened to them. And a lot of times they don't even realize, what happened, and they just go on in the cycle. The hood rat guys boast about abusing, cheating on, and playing girls. If you date a hood rat, you have an idea of what you're getting into. What you may not realize is the long-term effects of these dysfunctional relationships. The hood rat is a psychopath, and that means that they are good at mind games. These guys mess up your whole self-perception and your whole head. You could be left with mental health issues for one relationship that wasn't going to work out anyway. These hood rats will strain your finances and could even steal from you, even if you've been giving them a lot. They will use you for all they can get. There's also the possibility of an ugly breakup where the hood rat won't go away or keeps making threats to you or your new mate. I know this could happen with guys who are not hood rats, but again, girls are warned to stay out of those relationships. But as of now, girls are actually being encouraged by social trends to get in these types of relationships if it's a hood rat. It's the zeitgeist right now. Whether you are white, black, or any other ethnicity, you don't want to voluntarily walk into an abusive and worthless relationship. From my observation, hood rats are raised in an environment where they have fought since childhood. They have watched abusive relationships and probably believe that is the norm. In other words, they are used to and skilled at arguments, deception, and manipulation. And they are very skilled at fighting to a degree. If you grew up in a normal environment where this type of behavior was frowned upon, you are no match for a seasoned psychopath. You wouldn't even know what to do when the psychopath attacks, while the psychopath knows the most significant points of attack. You wouldn't know what hit you, and because you were raised to avoid altercations, you will find it hard to fight back. While you are trying to stop or prevent conflict, as you were raised to do, they will do things to escalate it as their childhood environment encouraged them to do. They will scoff at your peacekeeping efforts as they devour you physically, psychologically, and or emotionally with their abuse. They get off on hurting others is the main point. Psychopaths get off on hurting others. It's not a mistake. It's not an accident, even if they claim it is. And even if they say sorry, you cannot win them over with love, affection, and care. As of now, and with the current information out there, you can't win over a psychopath, a true psychopath like that. You will be left feeling drained, hopeless, or worse. After their bite, you may even turn into one of them. It's like being bitten by a vampire. You could turn into a psychopath and start imitating their behavior. And if you surround yourself with people like them, no matter what their ethnicity, even if it's other white girls who dated and was scarred by hood rats, they will encourage you to get wise to the game and learn how to play it. And that is how you start adopting their ways and behaviors and becoming a psychopath yourself. Sorry, their game involves round after round of abuse and useless relationships with different people, but always with the same psychopathic mentality. The truth is that you do not have to play the game. You don't want to get stuck in the game, which is only a cycle of abuse. That's the game. It's a cycle of abuse. Healthy relationships are possible, and it's not some delusion. Because psychopaths and hood rats, grew up around fighting all the time, they seem to think that that's the only way that relationships are possible, or that's the norm for relationships. And they will try to get you to believe that, healthy relationship is delusional. Oh, no relationship is that happy. This is normal. And I've heard a lot of hood rats say, this is love. This is love. Like, if you're not fighting and like doing bad things to each other, then forgiving each other and getting back to each other, that's not love. If you like put up with their crap and their abuse, then that's love. But, healthy relationships are not some kind of delusion. There are healthy relationships. And, there's different ways of resolving issues that doesn't involve lying, cheating, fighting, and all that stuff. So the point is not to jump on the dating a hood beast or bad boy bandwagon. Your time and mental health does not need that. Relationships are sometimes unintentionally hard, and you don't need to date people who like to deliberately make and keep relationships hard in order to satisfy their selfish desires. The beauty and the hood beast trend is one that girls should avoid. It's really not worth all the trouble it causes.